So the four golden rules, which are the pillars of developing your power, you have your central equilibrium. It's a plumb line coming from the top of your head through between your legs, keeps your back straight. And that's where you're going to be pivoting, on your central equilibrium. The second rule is parallel lines, keeping your feet and your hips, your shoulders, everything parallel and aligned. It's going to develop maximum power for your strikes. Third rule is you don't cross your center. We're not reaching across. You rotate your body. For your blocks, it's a rotation of your body. Your arm, as we mentioned, it's the same movement. For whichever way you go, it's the rotation. So don't cross your center. It's going to improve your rotations. The fourth rule is your 18-inch strike zone, or 18-inch safety zone. When you're hitting, 18 inches from your core is where maximum power is coming. If you're punching with reach, you only have a few inches that the energy is being used. If you're within your 18 inches, you get a lot more power. Maintain your central equilibrium, parallel lines, don't cross your center, so that rotation and your 18 inches is the four golden rules for maximum power. So when I'm talking about octagon, this is 8 lines that you use for your movements. Number 1, straight out behind, in front of you. 2 is behind you. 3 is to your left. 4 to the right. 5 and 6, 5 forward and 6 behind you on a 45-degree angle. 7 and 8 out to the right and back to the left. So when you're fighting, number 1 is always towards your opponent. If you're stepping out on line 5, you return to 1. This is the very basic theories for octagon, using the octagon for your rotation. So some of the basic blocks you're going to be using your high block, which isn't protecting you necessarily from attacks coming down, but protecting the upper part of your body. It's a lifting and settling motion. You're lifting their strikes, following your alignments. You have your mid block, moving on from the inside or the outside, protecting the mid-level of your body. And you have your low block, inside or outside. So your arms motions don't change. Your mid block, your arm is just coming up. The movement is really from your body, following your octagon and rotations. Your arm motion is the same for an outside or inside blocks. Exact same for your lower blocks. Your arm is just coming down. The motion of the deflecting the strike is in your rotation. Another block is a head guard. You cup the back of your head with your hand and keep your arm up tight to the side of your head. You're going to absorb the strike coming in. So you're not necessarily deflecting the block, but absorbing the energy. So similar with weapon fighting, if you were fighting another opponent holding a weapon, a stick, a knife, whatever, use your weapon. It's called defanging the snake. You hit their hand, they're going to drop their weapon. Similar principle applies when they're striking. if someone's punching at you, if you can hit them in the bicep before that punch gets to you, that's going to cause a lot of damage, going to mobilize their arm, and it's going to stop the punch from getting to you. You may get a little bit of the strike, but not the full power. So with your hands up, you can stop the punch before it comes. So a fighting stance, you want to keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Keep your knees bent and your legs springing. You want to cradle your tension. So you just tip your hips forward a bit. It straightens your spine out. That's for your central equilibrium. You're going to keep your hands up. This is protecting your head. You can easily do a high block, a mid block. Guard your head. If you're going to protect the lower part of your body, it's a lot faster when your hands are up, just to drop them down. Protects your ribs. You may even catch a strike with your elbow and do some damage to their weapon if you're late. So keep your hands up, elbows down, so you can drop and protect your body. But keeping your hands up, it's a lot easier to move your arms down than it is to move up. Moving your hand up is slower. It's going to take you off your alignment. So keep your hands up. Shoulder width apart, central equilibrium, straight back. Hands up. I'm going to talk about smart targets. These are good places to strike. Square on the forehead will disorient them. Breaking the nose will cause their eyes to water, harder to see. A punch in the eye, similar effect to one side. The upper lip, the knockout point. The chin, right on the button, it's going to knock them out. Side of the jaw, the temple. These are all your targets in the face. You have your throat and the sides of the neck. You have the sternum. Knock the wind out. And you have the groin. Other good spots are the kidneys. If you're in a clinch and you can come around, or if you're stepping out on the outside, you can hook into the kidney. So I'm talking about weapons in relation to your body. I'm talking about the different fists and palms, your chops, your elbows, your knees and feet. This is what I'm referring to as weapons. When you're going to punch, you're hitting with the top two knuckles. You keep your fist tight. You can do sun fists. You can turn over. Punches come from all angles. Wherever the opportunity is, with relation to your opponent and the smart target. I'm going to talk about a straight blast. This is diving into a fight like they're water. You're going to lead with the hardest parts of your body, your forearm, your knee and your shin, and you're just going to drive straight through them. So a few good principles. If your opponent can't breathe, they can't fight. So hit them in the throat, solar plex, knock the wind out of them. They can't fight. If you gouge their eyes out, or you tear their ears off, or you fish hook them, get your fingers or your thumb in their cheek and rip their cheek out. It's illegal in UFC because it works. So in a life and death situation, go for the eyes, the ears, tear the mouth. Biting can be very dangerous and it's a risky move, but in enough pain, they're going to stop. So repetition is going to improve your abilities. So a nice way to warm up on a heavy bag or on a bob You want to work each side equally. Change your stance from regular to southpaw. And one of the best workouts is set your clock for 8 minutes and just start working. Do 10 jabs on each side. Then do 10 1-2s on each side. Then do a 1-2 hook on each side. Then you can do a 1-2 hook elbow. 10 on each side. Then a 1-2 hook elbow uppercut. 10 on each side. A 1-2 hook elbow uppercut and body shots. 10 for each. So just keep working your combinations and add a new strike until your 8-minute timer is up. Take a 2-minute breather and do another 8 minutes. Do as many 8-minute rounds as you can. It's a great cardio workout. And the entire time you're doing your strikes, don't worry about speed. Focus on your smart targets you're hitting. Practice hitting them from different angles and with different weapons.